Ladies and gentlemen, police departments across America want to know if their own officers partook in the insurrection on this past Wednesday. Very interesting. I would not doubt if there were quite a few cops up in that crowd. So they are now investigating this. And this is what they're saying. So this is the Washington Post, January 9th, 2021. Police officers and at least one police chief from departments across the United States are facing termination, suspension, and other discipline for their proximity to or alleged involvement in a chaotic gathering in Washington on Wednesday that ended in a riot. Insurrection is what I'm calling it. Thank you, LVZ, at the US Capitol and left 5 people dead. Departments in California, Washington, Texas are among those that have announced investigation into their officers based on tips, social media posts, and other evidence. Through more officers could be identified as evidence emerge in the coming days. The probe come after an especially fraught year for US policing that saw massive civil rights protests against police violence. They are likely to raise questions about free speech, the expansion of surveillance, and public trust in law enforcement, while legal experts warn the scrutiny could have unintended consequences. In Seattle, interim police chief Adrian Diaz confirmed at least 2 officers had been placed on administrative leave and referred to internal investigation after the department received social media posts showing the officers in Washington Wednesday. The departments fully support all lawful expression of First Amendment freedom of speech, but the violent mob and events that unfolded at the US Capitol were unlawful and resulted in the death of another police officer, Diaz said in the statement Thursday. He vowed to fire any officers who were directly involved in the insurrection at the US Capitol. The 2 officers were not immediately identified. Thomas Goldie, uh, this is from the Pittsburgh area officer. He's under investigation by the borough legal department after he was photographed at Wednesday rally wearing a hat that read Trump MAGA 2020, F your feelings. Mm-mm-mm. CBS Pittsburgh reported. Mm-mm-mm. So they said they did see him there. They don't believe he was inside of the Capitol, but he is still under investigation for being there. Okay, so in Troy, New Hampshire, in an interview by Police Chief Dave Ellis that placed him at Wednesday's scene was quickly noted by residents in his hometown who called for his resignation. Damn, the people, oh man, the people in the town that he patrols ratted him out and they want this police chief gone. Mm-mm-mm. Boy, but I'm not surprised that many of them have those kind of views. We've been complaining about policing forever. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is just more confirmation of systemic racism in policing. Look at what the police are doing. Look what they partook in. Look at what they did. All right. So people in his own hometown ratted him out and want him gone as the police chief. Damn. Speaking to New York Magazine during Wednesday protest in D.C., Ellis condemned the break-in at the Capitol and the violence against Capitol Police. He later told New Hampshire Public Radio he accepted the outcome of the November election, but attended out of support for President Trump, whom he backed since 2016. Yeah, I don't know if I believe that, but let's move on. Richard Thaxton, head of Troy's Board of Selectmen, has thus far rebuffed calls for Ellis' ouster. Neither man could be immediately reached for comment Saturday night. In Texas, the Bexar County Sheriff's Office in San Antonio was among the first to announce an internal investigation of one of its employees' participation. So what they said is there's an investigation after one of their officers posted on her Facebook page and said, they could see her at the Capitol with a Trump draped flag. And she noted that she was not going to enter the Capitol building like others. But I guess that wasn't good enough for them. Her butt is under investigation. Like I said, I would not doubt if there were officers from damn near every state there participating in this stuff. I would not be shocked. But this Texas officer, they said her information has been forwarded to the FBI, so her butt is under investigation. It says all of her posts show that she was close to where the Capitol was, and she was on the lawn at the time of the chaos was happening inside, unbeknownst to her. This is what she's claiming. Yeah, well, your butt is still under investigation. But remember what their investigations are like, ladies and gentlemen. So take it with a grain of salt. In California, the Oakland Police Department has taken a stance that even showing support for the riots on social media could land officers in trouble if it runs afoul of the department's hate speech guidelines. It has opened a probe into current officers who like or otherwise express support for posts of the riot from a retired Oakland officer. So they are checking these cops out thoroughly. They're even checking out their social media to see what they wrote about the riot. The insurrection. The department said in a statement Friday that it will not allow any members to engage in or support this type of content and will root out this conduct anywhere within the department. Okay, so Houston Police Chief Art Acevedo, who said also leads the Major City Chiefs Association, said the distinction between acceptable and fireable behavior should be clear in most cases. Most departments have policies prohibiting officers from participating in political rallies while in uniform, but otherwise they're able to express political views. Engaging in violence or other behavior that violates department codes, even if it's not a criminal offense, could lead to termination, including expressing support for criminal or discriminatory acts. Well, shoot, there should be no one left in the police department then. There should be no one left in the police department in America then. Shoot, you ain't weeding them out fast enough as far as I'm concerned. If you're openly liking and supporting comments conveying support for people who had nooses or were screaming about finding the vice president of the United States and harming him, and who were caught with Molotov cocktails, you'll receive severe sanctions, he said. All right, so that's the Houston police chief saying that. So it would be interesting, but I have a feeling, ladies and gentlemen, if they found out a lot of police officers from around this country went to this rally, I have this feeling they're going to be tight-lipped about it. They're not going to they're probably more than likely not going to let too much of that leak out in the public. Because I mean, look, everybody already have bad views about policing in America. That would only make it worse if you, I mean, they're already outing officers that were there. And if you find out a lot of this crowd were cops from different departments around the country, that would look even worse. But y'all, please tell me what you think. I'm certainly not surprised that this would get police officers energized in this country, being, that we know how they've been behaving towards us for centuries. This would not surprise me at all. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.